Welcome everyone. This is your reading for the 29th of July all the way to the 4th of August. And the pre-shuffle, I've sort of started to tap into the energy and I'm already getting a bit of a read on the week ahead around something to do with your ego, something to do with your pride. Really, this is an opportunity for you to get real about what's holding you back and face and challenge and come to terms with the fact that it is much more in your control than you thought it was. And if anything, you're the one that needs to get out of your own way. Now, one card that in the pre-shuffle came out and wanted to stay out was this card from the Find Your Purpose uh, deck, but it actually has like the Two of Swords on the front of it, which I find pretty interesting. Now, the Two of Swords is a card of indecision. It's a card of getting in our own way. It's this card of we're trapped in this binary kind of right or wrong in our mind. And that in and of itself is the trap, not the situation, not the circumstance, not the options, but the beingness in our own mind. We can't live from a place of logic. We need to lead from a place of love and feeling and intuition. I mean, of course, you can live from a place of logic, but it'll only get you so far. You are not here simply to make choices. You are here to be in the unfolding of your life, be in the experience of becoming whatever it is that you are here becoming. Like everyone goes into a chrysalis, caterpillar to butterfly, but not everyone's the same butterfly. Not everyone is even a butterfly. When you emerge on that other side of change and transformation, you can literally be anything. And that's what life is about, figuring out that process, figuring out that journey. And for a lot of it, coming to terms with the fact that we might not know, but we still need to move forward. Now, the fact that this card came out and it wants to stay out, especially to start off this reading, I'm going to read what's on the back here. Now, this is helping us tap into just the immediate energy of like who this reading is for and what might be coming your way this week. So if it's starting to resonate, if you're feeling like that is a message I needed to hear, know and trust that this is for you. So we've got a quote from Brene Brown. I want to be in the arena. I want to be brave with my life. And when we make the choice to dare greatly, we sign up to get our asses kicked. We can choose courage or we can choose comfort, but we can't have both, not at the same time. Big words from Brene Brown here. And what was really sort of drawing my attention and drawing my focus that I wanted to highlight for you was this: we can choose courage or we can choose comfort. Now, that doesn't mean that life doesn't have rest periods or self-care or downtime or anything like that. But on the whole, if you are in this period of transition in your life and you want things different, whether that's different in your health or in your finances, in your relationship, in any circumstance that you might find yourself in, if you are desperately yearning for change, it's going to take getting out of that comfort zone. The cool thing that I have learned in my journey, and also working with many clients as a spiritual life coach, is even though we can get out of our comfort zone and we need to embrace the change and we need to commit to action, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to like jump off the cliff. You can take one step at a time. So take it as it resonates. Let me know what came up and through for you, and then let's get on with the reading. Now, just before we actually start pulling some more cards, just a little reminder, if you want to book a one-to-one private reading with me, which is live over Zoom, or even book a 30-day forecast, which is a PDF report on your next 30 days, channeled through by me, delivered to you, the details for that will be below as always. And if you have any questions or you want to work with me in a different capacity or collaborate or something like that, just reach out as well. All right, so this is for, as I said, the 24th. Is that correct? The 29th to the 4th. So we're having this transition period as we go from July to August. Now, any month change and month shift brings with it some energies of possibility. And also, if we're not embracing the new cycle, we might bring some baggage from the old month. So beyond whatever comes out in these cards, just another message here around, what do you want to take with you into the month ahead? Ask yourself that question. And if it requires action, do that and bring it into your life. All right, so these cards from what's it called? The Cosmic Guidance Oracle. We're just looking at your current energy. So where you find yourself right now. Heart and the Moon. These are the cards that came out last week. So we're still a little bit stuck in the energy of whatever last week was. If you're finding it hard to resonate with the reading today and you haven't watched last week's, I invite you to go back and watch that one. Maybe there is something that still needs to be resolved. So asking the cards for this week of the 29th to the 4th, what is that current energy? Where are my beautiful watchers or listeners finding themselves in their life at the moment? Okay, we've got stillness, lack of movement. We've got patience, long road ahead, reward awaits, and fire, transformation, rebirth, renewal. Yeah, so very much what we're seeing here is, I want to be in the arena. I want to be brave with my life. But we need to choose it. We need to get out there. We need to, buck the comfort and get into the courage. So you might be finding yourself at the moment feeling a lot of stillness and stuckness in your life. Perhaps you've just been staying inside a lot. You're not getting out there. You're not hanging out with your friends. Maybe there's things on your mind of like, oh, I should just even go for a walk, but you're not doing that. There is this sense of not just stillness in a very peaceful way. I get it's the sense of stillness in like, freeze. You're a bit frozen. You're a bit analysis paralysis, those sort of things happening. Probably because there's a part of you that knows there's a long road ahead in something in your life, or even you might just be thinking about your life in general with this feeling of, there's so much potential, but there's also so much heaviness to that of like all the things that you need to fix or figure out or do. And these cards are really telling me that, if we're to, everything has a positive or a negative perspective. Just at the moment, the current energy is you're seeing the shadow, you're seeing the negative, you're seeing the lack. Know and trust, though, that we get to transform this. You get to flip this perspective and start to see the light. You've got stillness at the moment. Cool. How can we embrace that in a way of peace? How can we embrace that in a way of self-discovery or self-care, or even just a little bit of selfishness sometimes in what do you need and giving yourself that thing. Also, with that card of patience, rather than the, oh my God, so long to go, yay, like I have plenty of time to figure this out. The transformation that's just on the tip of your tongue, the tip of your mind, the tip of your energy at the moment is how can I shift what I'm currently experiencing, or rather my perspective, what I'm currently experiencing, into something that is positive and empowering and a much more optimistic view of a situation. That is always in your control. That is always, in your hands. You just need to pick it up and take it. Now, of course, if you're having a little bit of trouble with that mindset shift, because sometimes they're so deeply ingrained, or simply we don't have the tools in order to figure that stuff out on our own, I have an amazing free training that you can check out. I'll actually pop the link to that below. It's around growth mindset and becoming the change maker in your life. I love that I just ran this training and then, here we are. Perfect time for it. So check that out if you're resonating with this feeling in our current energies. Now, of course, that is just the current energy where you might find yourself a little bit stuck, a little bit wondering how we get out of here, but ready for change, ready for getting out of that comfort zone. So let's ask the cards, what is it going to take in order for that change to truly be embraced? And we're going to use the Heal Yourself Oracle here. The reason for that being, let's look at the blocks and what is getting in the way. You've got wild. You've got pay attention to the signs. And we've got patience again. How interesting. Patience from two different decks. So with our first card, wild, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit intimidating to be on the cusp of this journey into the unknown, this journey into the darkness of the future. So when it comes to, what needs to be embraced, what needs to, and I say need in a very like general sense. You don't need to do anything, but this is going to be helpful to you if you desire change and you desire a bit of a point in the right direction on where to look, where to start, where to begin. So not only is this sort of acknowledging that it's the fear of the unknown, that's why you might be feeling stuck and frozen, but it's also a bit of the answer of like embracing that wildness, embracing that sense of adventure and possibility. How can you, rather than another mindset shift, think about here's this big, dark unknown in front of me, going instead, I get to figure this out. I get to learn new things, have new experiences, totally go, yes, into the unknown, but learn things that I obviously have not learned before. So this card gives this bit of perspective shift once more, but again, I get this sense of you get to make it into something that is exciting, something that is empowering, something that is really wild and free. Many of us, when we feel stuck or stagnant in our lives, it's because we're have this tension with we want to be free, we want to be free, we want to be free, but we believe we're stuck. We believe we're trapped. We believe we can't get out of the situation we're in. So there's a constant tension. And how can we embrace, well, what does freedom look like? What does freedom act like? What does freedom dress like? How can I be in my freedom and then find the path forward for me by embracing that kind of energy? So a really interesting message coming through from this card today. Our next card coming up is pay attention to the signs. Again, someone lost in the wilderness a little bit, but the cool thing is this is giving us that indicator of there are signs around you. When we look around in our life, there is often so much more information and so much more opportunity and potential and pathway than we might have realized. So if, again, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling impatient, you're not quite sure where to go next, start to look around for the signs. Something that I've found really helpful is when I'm sort of stuck in wanting the answer, wanting the answer, wanting the answer, rather than focusing on what is the answer as if it's just one thing, I focus on what questions can I ask to open up and be more curious. So rather than going, just looking around like, where do I go next? Or what is the one thing? Or what's going to fix the situation? Using just a questioning technique of what do I need to know? What could happen next? What are the possibilities available to me? What do I already have that could help? What can I try or change or put my attention towards while I'm waiting for this other thing to work out? So embracing questions rather than trying to latch onto answers can be a really powerful thing that you can do. Our final card that's coming up in like how can we move forward and what might be blocking us is, like I said, patience. Patience coming through again. This is a much more peaceful card. I find it interesting now that I actually have a look at it, is that in this other patience card, it also had a bit of an archway. So this lady is sitting in an archway, and at the top of the stairs is an archway. What I take from this in this moment is, something that might be blocking you on this path moving forward and blocking you on this journey to change and transformation is, just sort of the wake up call, I guess, of you might be feeling a bit stuck or still or needing patience in this moment because you just want to get on with it. But patience is something that's going to be coming with you on this path. You're not going to get away from the need for patience, the need for delayed gratification, the need to take your time and be harmonious and balanced in your approach moving forward. If you want to live a life that is in constant motion and hustle, you're probably going to burn out, at some point, whether that's in 5 days or 5 weeks or 5 months or years or whatever it may be. Life is a series of ups and downs, of fast and slow, of, steady and then speed. So patience is not a problem. It might be frustrating, but it's not patience that is the problem. It's the perspective, once more, of what you think things should be instead. So patience is both something that you're grappling with, but also something you need to come to terms with in order to really embrace what needs to happen in order for change to occur. Let's get some messages from the runic tarot. These are just going to be things in the week ahead that will serve you. Got the Nine of Pentacles. We got the Moon card. Pretty sure it's the full moon this week. We got the Nine of Cups. The King of Cups and the Fool. All right. Again, I just see patience in this card, even though it's the Nine of Pentacles. It's you've done a lot of work. You've come a long way. You're allowed to take a break, take stock of the situation. You don't have to be rushing on to the next thing. And the next thing, we've got the moon. You might not know what that is yet, which is maybe why you're in this feeling of impatience and stuckness, because we've been told, we have been educated in our society that we always need to have a plan. We always need to know, what are we doing for the next 5 years? What is on the agenda? What are our goals? What are, everything that you're working on? And sometimes we're in a transition phase in a season of our life where we're changing, and what is coming next has not yet been revealed. So allow yourself to celebrate where you are and where you've come from. And if you don't quite know the next step, that's okay as well. The Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, I'm sensing these are together as well. Something to do with relationships. I feel like this is very separate from this. This is more of an accomplishment in terms of, your work, your purpose, your business, a project that you've been putting time into, study if you're, still studying. This is more around your relationship, but it's your relationship with yourself. It's your relationship with like filling your cup and bringing it back in. Like you're a giver. You like to, pour out of your cup. You like to pour into others. There is this need in you to please, maybe have a bit of people pleasing, a bit of an issue there. But more than that, it's this genuine care and consideration. And this is just your beautiful reminder of like, as much as you're out there giving, making sure that, when you're alone or even just in your day to day, that you're making sure to give to yourself as well, or allowing yourself to receive. There is, just in terms of our human capacity and capability, a finite amount that we can give. And giving to yourself comes before giving to others. And even giving more to yourself than you give to others will keep you in the balance and in the flow of giving overall. Finally, we have the Fool on his lonesome, but this is just a reminder to take things lightly, to walk through the week with some optimism and curiosity. And I see this card very much as looking forward, looking ahead. So not just for this week, but for the upcoming weeks, is keeping this fresh perspective on, I don't know what's happening, but I'm happy in the present. And if that's something that feels really challenging, something to work on. Now, finally, just to round out today's reading, we're going to do another Find Your Purpose card. And that one didn't even want me to shuffle. It just wanted to jump out. Emily Nagoski says, that's the power of meaning. We can tolerate any suffering if we know why. And not knowing why is itself a profound type of suffering. We've got this heart surrounded by these like maze of stairs and things. We can get really caught up in the dissatisfaction and the disconnection when we don't understand what is happening. A last little sort of message, reminder, invitation for this week of the 29th to the 4th, I'm pretty sure those are the correct dates, is not necessarily why, as in your entire life or your entire business or your entire purpose, but finding those micro whys. You know, what am I doing today? Why am I doing this? What makes me feel happy? You know, why is that fulfilling to me? Like asking yourself those little questions, giving things meaning. If you're planning out your week in your journal, you know, the week coming up is, why am I doing that activity? Why am I hanging out with that person? Why do I need that day off? And not to necessarily like interrogate or question yourself, but to clarify why and why it matters to you. Beautiful final message there. All right, thank you for joining me for our weekly forecast. If it landed, if it resonates, I would love to hear from you. So leave me a comment below. If you think this would serve those in your circle, those in your family, your friends, share this with them. And of course, if you'd like to book a one-to-one reading or a 30-day forecast, then the links for that will be below. Also, check out that masterclass I mentioned on the growth mindset and becoming the change maker if this reading resonated. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.